I went and got my back to school Botox.
I just kind of want to move on from furniture.
Just figure it out along the way.
So I'm just trying to be kind to myself and listen to myself. Welcome back to the Cypress Room, where we dive deep on influencing with integrity. This is a podcast for creators, and I am Christina Mascari.
And I'm Meggie Honeycutt, and welcome back.
I'm very comfortable today. If you're watching on YouTube, I have my shoes off. I have my feet on the couch. I might be in what's the word? Antagonizing? No, enticing. Some feet content. We got a really weird DM about feet.
Yes, we did.
But they wanted our feet with socks on.
Yes, they were going to pay us for
Super
pictures.
Weird. People are so weird, y'all. If you're coming to the podcast for the first time, you can tell this one's going to be a little different. It's summer is over and school has started. So we are getting back to the swing of things and schedules and all of that. I don't know about you, but I feel kind of all over the place. So we just wanted to have a little chat with y'all, give you a little life update about what's going on. I mean, we already did the 1 year anniversary, but I feel like that was like all the things we've learned about podcasting. I just wanted to kind of sit down and talk about like where we're at in life.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff going on.
There is a lot of stuff going on. I'm glad we wrote notes because otherwise
we would forget. And this could totally spiderweb into some other area. But yeah, part of this podcast is we are real people. Mm-hmm. We're multifaceted. We're moms. We're wives. We're entrepreneurs. We're friends. We are, prayer warriors. We like volunteer at church. There are a lot of things that we do. And I think it's all very integral, especially when you're a content creator, to how things run, because so much of being a content creator is just like who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And it's not just being like this formal business, like serious thing all the time. So I just wanted to sit down and chat with you.
Yeah. Well,
and let everybody else into that.
I was going to say,
because that was what this was supposed to be about.
I was going to say the heart behind the podcast was talking with our friends, like inviting people into the conversations that we have just as friends, and getting to let other people listen in and participate, and it's not all business around here.
And we are also, this is the first time we are testing out multi-camera filming. We did this a little bit at the Haven conference. I got a new phone, so I was like, let's do a second shot with my phone and see if it doesn't overheat and die. And it worked really well. Meggie has the same phone. So we have 3 cameras going right now. I know. We have no idea if it's going to turn out, but that's why we were like, let's just do a little, kind of fluffy episode so that we're not wasting someone else's time. Because we would love to be able, like, now this is the 3rd podcast or 4th podcast we've filmed out here in my living room. And now that we've figured out how to do this out here, we're like, we could do in-person interviews here. Yeah. So we're kind of testing out, like, setting up different cameras and all of that. And we have a funny story about multi-camera filming as well. Do you want to chat about that a little bit?
Oh, yes. We recorded multi-camera at Haven conference. And
which was just on a whim. We didn't plan, but we were like, let's do it. But we had no idea how to edit it.
Yeah, just because of the setup in that room, it made more sense to have 2 shots than try to do a super wide angle.
With 3 people,
So we have all this footage and we come back to edit it, and we're trying to figure out the best way to do that, the most efficient way, because what I tried at first was not efficient.
Well, and then I tried away because we're like, let's be teammates. Let's figure this out. I'm kind of not working right now, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the podcast. I'm not working as much right now. So I was like, so I'll take one, you take one. We'll see what we learn, and then we'll get back together and share that information. Well, I thought like I had cracked the code because I was like, oh, this only took me an hour. Like, I'll show you this way. So I invite Meggie over to edit like our next ones together. So we pull up our libraries, got into a whole aside about storage and stuff, and we're like, oh my gosh, what? Like, I can't. But anyways, it's all good in the end. So I try to go show her what I did, and I can't even remember what I did. And I'm like, this isn't easier. Why did I think this was easier? And we sat here for what, like 4 hours?
A long time.
3 or 4 hours, and really accomplished nothing. No. And you left, and I felt so defeated.
Oh, well, I didn't feel defeated.
I felt like I wasted your time.
Oh, no. I didn't feel that way, but I just wished we could have figured out like the way.
So
later that day.
Yeah, I was extremely frustrated. I was so apologetic to Meggie because I felt she came all the way over here. I was like, I've got this great thing to show you. I couldn't even remember what I did. I looked at my library and it was like 300 gigs, which is stupid.
Yes.
Like to have a library on Final Cut that is that big. I'm like, we're not even going to be able to do that on external drive. So this can't be it. This cannot be the way. So then I go to YouTube, which is where you learn how to do everything. And I was like, okay, how do you edit a multi-camera podcast? And we found this tutorial of a group of people that films like a 4-person one, and they do iPads and have 4 different cameras going. And he showed me this thing called a multi-camera clip. And so we have figured out how to put like all of our clips and our audio in this thing called a multi-camera clip. And as you're playing the podcast, we can literally just click from camera to camera as people are talking. And it's so easy.
It is life changing. It really is compared to what
we were doing, because we're like clipping and then the audio gets off and it drags and it drifts. And this literally, like, if you were like, oh, that person wasn't talking, I clicked on the wrong camera, you can just go in and click on the camera or move the mouse or just delete it completely and then start that point over. It's like, and there's no way for it to get off track.
Yes.
Like the audio is all synced up in that clip.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining us in the Cypress Room today. Your support means so much to us, and we wanted to share a new way that you can invest in our community.
We now have our own store where you can get your Cypress Room merch like hoodies, shirts, hats, and more.
And not only can you rep the Cypress Room brand and its mission of influencing with integrity, but your purchase will directly help fund this channel.
That way we can keep bringing you interviews with your favorite creators and all the knowledge you need to help grow your brand and your business.
Our shop is linked in the description box of every video we make, and you can also view pictures of each product tagged in each video, and we really appreciate your support.
What I love about you is when she gets an idea.
ADHD is a superpower sometimes.
Wants to figure out something, she has this insane focus and will literally not give up. Me, I'm like, we didn't figure it out. I'll search again another time, see what I find. She does not give up. And so not only did you find the way for us to do multicam clips, you found out how to reduce the size of our storage.
Because I was like, this can't be, because issue. When you do the multi-camera clip with these 4K like videos that we're filming, it just so much storage. And so I'm like, this cannot be right, because I couldn't even do it on my computer. I had to get an external drive, and I don't use external drives anymore because I don't want to use them anymore. But I didn't have enough space on my machine, and I had tons of space open, but it was like taking up 300 gigs, which is like half of what my desktop can hold. So I'm like, this is not, no, there has to be another way. And so there's some settings that you can turn off on Final Cut, and it shrunk my library from like 350 gigs to like something really small.
Really small, because the entire
probably
video
just like
file,
20 gigs or 30 gigs.
Yeah.
Which I was like, and
small.
I don't know if it's not backing up. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what I'm missing, but it seems to be working, and we exported the podcast and everything was fine. So this could be life-changing, guys.
It could. And it's also a testament to just figure it out along the way.
And you're going to have meetings where you waste 4 hours. It's just going to happen, but it led to us figuring out something that is going to save so much time going forward. It's so much easier, and it actually like makes you not dread watching and editing.
Yeah, for real. Plus it looks really nice, I think.
It does, and it's fun. You feel like a producer. Yeah. So if we ever do get to the point where we're doing them like live and want to cut them live, I think we'll have more experience, because we're cutting them in post-edit. So,
so this was a big development in our summer flashback to
school.
So
we're taking it one step further with our multi-cameras today. So hopefully they're flashing back and forth. If they're not, something went terribly wrong. Yeah. If you're just getting a straight on shot, it didn't work, but we're not going to give up.
Yeah. But so the last time we did kind of one of these was before we went to Haven Conference, which was a big...
It's a big marker of the summer.
It always is. Marker of the summer.
Yeah.
And so, do you want to talk about Haven Conference?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. We podcasted at Haven Conference.
We were busy.
We were very busy.
I mean, shout out to all our friends and our new friends that sat down and made time to do an interview with us because they missed out on a class or they missed out on something that was going on. We missed out on a lot because but it was great because they gave us our own room because we teamed up with them. It was at a different hotel this year. So we had a conference room that had floor to ceiling windows and it was like elevated. I think we were like on the 9th floor. So we had beautiful natural light. And I think like all the podcasts we shot in there, they just look really pretty.
They do.
And we didn't have a lot of external light. And I was like, oh, because last year we podcasted on our own from Haven and it looks like we're in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Because we're on this very lower floor. Like there wasn't a lot of light in the room and the room was just kind of like ugly. And I feel like these conference rooms are more updated.
It was definitely an upgrade. So shout out to Kristen and her team for setting us up
in a room. And they gave us comfy chairs. So we weren't like in like the ballroom, dining room chairs. So we got to be comfy and kick our feet up and just had, I think, a lot of fun interviewing people.
It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of interviews.
Our brains were kind of fried.
They were fried, but let me tell you, I loved this Haven conference because it was so fun to have people come up to us and say that they listened to the podcast.
Every time someone did that, we were like, really?
Yeah. And even 2 girls who, like, I'm going to post this content probably around the time of this this podcast coming out, but like a couple girls told us stories where like something we had said had like spurred them on to do like
to just go email a brand and just like ask what's the worst that can happen.
Yes. And so it was just like a huge encouragement to me, like to keep going and that there are people out there listening and engaging and like liking what we're putting out. So that was really fun too.
Yeah.
And what else about Haven?
I don't know. It's always such a blur. Like so much happens and it's like so good and you're exhausted. We ended up leaving early.
We did.
Which is like a whole thing. And I don't want to go into the whole like, but it was the day that, there was a really big thing that happened in the news where there was the attempted assassination on former President Trump. And we were driving home when we got that news.
Yeah.
And it was actually my husband that told me. And I was just really glad that we were in the car on the way home. Like, I don't know if I could have heard that like there was like a party that night and we had to get in early to set up for the podcast. So it was just like, it would have been really long if we would have stayed Saturday night as well. And so that was just really interesting that I'm like, oh, I'm in with a safe person on my way home when we get this news that is like, oh my gosh, like it felt really crazy to me because I've never seen that happen in my lifetime. We were just like babies when the Reagan thing happened. We don't remember that. So that was just really interesting to me that I just felt like, oh, we need to leave early. We need to be home. Like we've been here a long time. Let's head out early. So I just thought that was like interesting how that happened. So there was just like a lot of emotions wrapped around the weekend.
We can't like forget we got to interview somebody from Magnolia Network.
I know.
Tamra Day.
She was so sweet. And the fact that she took it, because she was only there to speak. And then I think she left shortly after that, but she stayed so that we could sit down and chat with her. And that was just wild.
It was because
she didn't have to do that.
No, she didn't. And it felt like a really big moment, but she was just so kind and like a regular person.
And her story is just so inspirational.
Yeah.
And just felt like we were sitting down talking to a friend. So I was like, this is a pretty cool moment that we get to do this. So shout out to Haven for setting that interview up for us because that was all them setting that up for us. Yeah.
Plus a highlight for me too was getting to talk to Monica, who we've talked about for forever. And I just love that conversation. I loved getting to know Natalie and Bong. Like, oh my gosh. I just felt like there were just so many, the quality and caliber of the people that we got to sit down with, like felt so amazing. And they were all such lovely people on top of it. Like, I don't know. It was a really, really fun time talking to all of them. So
it definitely warmed my heart. It was sad that we couldn't like participate as much in the classes because of the classes that we did go to. I don't know if you felt this way, but I just couldn't even absorb anything because we had absorbed so much information talking to all these creators one-on-one. There was just so much energy that we used up doing that. It was hard for me to get like, I did get nuggets though.
Yeah.
And I have the classes that I got to go to. The lesson that I have learned that is, if we podcast again, I am not teaching a class. I taught a class this year. I've taught a class for the past 4 years. So it's definitely time for me to retire. They need new blood, and they were talking about YouTube. And yeah, so that was just too much for me.
Yeah.
It was too much for me. It was a thing that put me over the edge. Like I felt, I showed up in the class and I shared, you know, the information that I share, but I just didn't feel like I did my best. And I'm just comparing myself to the past couple of years I did it, because I was just exhausted, because we had been podcasting for 2 days. We'd already been there 3 days by the time that I taught my class, and it was at the end of the day. And it was too much. I did too much. I've learned my lesson. But I've heard from a couple of people that they were like, oh my gosh, thank you for doing this in the class. So if I did it for one person, that's great. But I felt a little off. I felt like I did some of the people that came to my class a disservice, which is my own stuff. But
because I thought it was great.
Well, you're so kind.
I am. I'm biased too, but I thought it was great. I thought it was fun for me this year, because I've always gone as like a behind the scenes type person, and this year
you're out there.
You're out there.
You're a content creator.
Kind of felt like a content creator. So
you kind of felt like a content creator.
Yeah.
You have been creating content on YouTube for a year, and Instagram.
I know. I guess it just doesn't seem real.
Okay. We're gonna have to break off that imposter syndrome. We're always on here preaching it, Meggie.
I know. I am really, like, I was just telling her before we got on, like, my goal after the summer is to practice what I preach, to just do it, get out there, jump in.
Yeah.
Because that's another development over the summer is, and now I'm going to say it so that I have to do it.
Oh boy, here it comes.
I know. I'm going to transform my Spark Creative page into more of like lifestyle, 40 plus, like mom type content.
You're going to come to the front. You're going to come out from behind the scenes.
Yeah, I am.
I like it.
We'll see how it goes.
Because you influence me all the time to try products and facial techniques and hair oils and all the things. So you're already doing it. It's just like, are you going to do this for everybody now?
I know. Well, and the other thing I thought as I was like thinking it through is like, now figuring out this multi-camera editing shaves off so much time that I was spending editing.
Just staring at an hour-long podcast. Yeah.
It used to take me probably a full day, really, to like edit the full thing, like get all the clips out, edit them. And now I feel like it's reduced by half or 75% at least. And so I'll have more open time. And I've been recording stuff. I just haven't.
You just got to put it out there.
So now I'm going to be held accountable since it's on record here.
And as we're sitting here, I feel like I'm panicked that I didn't press record on my camera. So I'm going to go. Put the red lights on. No, on my phone.
Oh.
Let's see if I did. Oh, no, I'm recording. Yay. We're going to leave that in. This is the thing that happened at Haven too. We had started the podcast with Monica, and we were and I just panic about stuff shutting off. So I don't know if Meggie knows this about me, but I'm always like looking at all the red lights, during, do you notice that I do that? It's like when the other person is talking, I'm like, okay, the camera's on them, they're talking. So I'm going to just like check like that our stuff is recording. And we were probably like 15 minutes into Monica, and I looked down and I'm like, oh no, the pod track is not recording, and that's the audio through these mics. And I was like, I don't know when this stopped recording or if I didn't push record. I still don't know what happened, but luckily we caught it, because that would have been devastating.
It would have. And she was so nice to just
just to start over. I was like, but that's that was the only snafu we had. And if it was going to happen with anybody, I'm glad that it happened with her, because she was so gracious about it.
Yes, she was.
I'm just having flashbacks to when we had Dad, how do I? Is that how I say it?
Oh my goodness, yes.
We had so many connection issues, and we were already 30 minutes in. I'm like, do we start over? And he's like, no, we don't. I'm like, okay.
He was probably so annoyed with us.
He was like, I have things to do. I'm like, okay. No, but he was like, no, I got some things to do. I was like, yeah, you've already been here for a half hour. We can't keep you for another hour. But we had the whole front part. Yeah, that'd be fine. But I was like, so I am just like always panicked that we're going to lose footage, but it just is what it is. If we lose it, it wasn't meant to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so you told them, you haven't been working as much, and there's been
the funny thing is I've been working. I have not been making YouTube videos. I have not been making long format YouTube videos. I haven't made one since
the cabinet makeover.
The cabinet makeover, which was probably the beginning of July. So it hasn't even been that long, but for someone who like used to make videos every week, it feels like a long time, and I'm just having a really hard time actually sitting down and making something. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm talking to my friends about it. I talked to my husband about it, and he's just like, you just need to go out there and do something. But I don't know. It's a different kind of, I've had blocks like this before, but it's a different kind of block. So I'm just trying to be kind to myself and listen to myself. My kids stagger back to school. So I've had one in school for a while, and then the other one started later. So I just have not had a set routine yet. Yeah. And I'm thinking like, hopefully by the time this airs, I'm going to be rocking and rolling.
Yes, you will.
But I am in definitely like kind of like this lull, but I'm still putting out reels. I'm still putting out TikToks. I have learned a lot this summer to repurpose old content. And a lot of the stuff that I have repurposed, repackaged, and put out has like, I was just telling you, I have one that got 1 million views. I have like old furniture projects that I repurposed and put out again that have like over 500,000 views on Instagram. So I haven't disappeared probably to like the normal person. It looks like I'm still doing stuff, and I am working every day. I just cannot get myself to film a long format YouTube video. And I'm just like, this is scary. Like we have to get over this block, and I know I will, but I'm just not there right now.
Well, and part of that is, it's been summer. Yeah. You did travel some. We both traveled some.
And we've been working on the podcast all summer. We didn't take a break. Like we talked about like, we need to pray about, are we taking a summer sabbatical? And we did not. Like we have not. We've gone a whole year. I mean, I guess we took a couple of weeks off last December, but we haven't really, maybe we skipped 4th of July, but we have been making content.
Yeah. Good for us.
Yeah. Go us.
Yeah. So where did you travel to this summer?
I went on some wonderful trips this summer, and that is what put me in the mode of like, I don't really want to work anymore. So my husband has a job where he gets to go to this conference every year in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And it is at the most beautiful resort ever. I don't have it. I didn't write it down. I meant to. I'll link it in the description box. I think it's called the Gran Vilas. And it is like my favorite resort I've ever been to. The food is amazing. It's all inclusive. This conference that he goes to, they rent out the whole place. So there's no children there the whole time, which is like, I love children, but on vacation, it's very nice not to have any children around. And the food is amazing, and the pools are just beautiful. The staff is like phenomenal. And so this was my second year going. So that's how I started out the end of June, was just spending some time in Mexico. My husband has to work quite a bit while he's there because it is a work trip. And so I have a lot of time to myself to just listen to podcasts or read or whatever and just chill and relax. And then after we got back from that, the whole family went down to Florida, and we stayed in Naples for a couple of days because my father-in-law has a condo there, which is very nice. I played pickleball for the first time, and it was very, very fun.
It is fun.
I understand all these people that are so obsessed with pickleball, because I used to play tennis when I was little, and I love playing tennis, but it is hard. And the older you get, the harder it is to play. And it's very hard for kids to play too. So I played rounds of pickleball with all my kids because I guess they've learned how to play it at school. And it is fun.
It's really fun.
It's very hot in Naples, so we didn't make it like lots and lots of rounds. And the courts were very popular. Like every night they were packed. So it was like hard to get in, but that was super fun. And then we went over to the other side of Florida to Jupiter. My husband's brother lives in Jupiter. They live right on the water on the inlet, and they have a boat. So they took us out on their boat on 4th of July. Then we did some deep sea fishing the next day. We didn't catch anything but bonita, which are very bloody and you can't eat them, but they're really good shark bait. So we would like throw them in, and we got to see tons of sharks come up.
Wow.
In the boat. So that was fun. And just like, that was the whole family and getting to spend time with them because they used to live with us in Illinois and we don't get to see them that much anymore. So it was just sweet time with my husband's brother's family. And my kids like love Florida. Like all my kids want to move to Florida.
I can understand.
Yeah.
Why.
They're like, when I go to college, I'm going to Florida. I'm like, but what about me? She's like, oh, you know, my aunt will take care of me. I won't need you. I'm like, oh. So those were our two. We didn't do a family trip last year during the summer, so it was fun to take that time. And we're so blessed that we have family that lives down in Florida, so it was affordable to do it. And so, yeah, that was fun. What about you guys? You did a couple of trips.
Yeah, we did. We started off with our first family trip to Mexico.
How did that go?
It went great. This was the first time taking our kids. My husband and I have been quite a few times ourselves, and the kids absolutely loved it. It is right up our alley as far as vacations go. They loved going to an all-inclusive.
Just lounging,
chilling.
Okay, what was their drink of choice that they were going to the swim-up bar and getting?
My son was getting frozen lemonades, and my daughter was getting mango daiquiris.
Oh, look at her.
The whole time.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Virgin mango daiquiris.
Yeah, obviously.
And he also discovered Fanta in Mexico.
He had never had Fanta before?
He had never had Fanta.
He had never had orange Fanta before.
He'd never had orange Fanta
you're a better
before.
mom than me.
And he discovered
orange
Fanta. So it was a really good trip. We did it the week after school got out too. So it was a nice way.
Yeah, you're always good about doing that, doing a trip right when school gets off.
Well, that's kind of sports related because.
Oh, okay. Because you got camps and stuff.
Yeah, my daughter starts school volleyball like right after the 4th of July. So we have to get our family trips in early.
Okay.
And then the only other trip we went on is we went back to Kansas to visit my family.
Kansas.
Yeah. So that was fun to see everybody, and they had a fun time with their cousins. And then we had Haven.
Yeah, right after that.
Right after.
I think that's why I'm so like out of it, because we were just like going. And I'm like, oh, I'm home, but my kids are here, and what do I do? And
well, and your kids are in all these activities, so you're like running them all over the place. Yeah. So it makes sense that it's been hard to sit down and focus and figure out what you want to put out into the world.
I know, and I've just been doing it for 5 years now. I don't know if I just need a reset. I have been like transitioning my content just kind of away from furniture, but really, really letting furniture go. That's kind of like where I'm at. I'm like, I just kind of want to move on from furniture. And I've been doing this for like a year and slowly incorporating more lifestyle. And I just don't think it's like you're like, I know what I need to do, but I just need to like do it. So maybe me being on here being like, I really do just need to maybe do one thing of furniture every couple of months. And because I'm just done with furniture.
Yeah.
But that's like why people follow me and why they watch me. So it is terrifying to just say that out loud.
Yeah.
Like, am I gonna just let this go? I mean, it'll always be a part of me. And like, I look around my house, at literally everything in my house, like I have done. I think the only thing that I haven't done that I can see in my vision here is this coffee table right here. But everything else, like I literally did. So I'll probably still do stuff for my house, but I don't know. It's just.
Okay, but let's think about in our conversation with Tamara Day, she started out furniture flipping.
Yeah, I know. That was wild.
Where she is today.
I know.
So
you never know.
You never know.
It is hard to like hang something up though when you have had success in it and people know you for it. Yeah. It's scary to move on, but I think just like with my age too, and like the physical toll that it takes, and because I was just told for so long, niche down, I'm having a hard time letting go of that last piece. Not that I need to retire it
entirely.
It's just I need to figure out how to do other stuff too. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Interesting.
But like I have these things that I've built and they're not going anywhere, but I am just a little stuck right now. I'm a little paralyzed.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do it. Once I get all these kids back in school, I think I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So I got a nice support system around me.
Yeah.
Cheering me on. What else did we put on here that we wanted to
What
talk
other
about?
big thing happened this summer out in your backyard?
Oh yeah. I'm like lucky that because there's people here right now like under the house, but I haven't heard them. So we are getting a pool.
So exciting.
It's so exciting. We made this decision like in May, and that's another blessing of this job and the fact that I have a job, because we lived for a long time just on my husband's salary. And so there are areas where, because I have an income now, there are some things that we do with that income, but there is, we live so long on one income that we don't really spend my income a lot. So we had a lot of money saved up, and my husband was just like, it's so hot here. Yeah. He was just like, I think I want to get a pool. We have a couple of neighbors that put in a pool.
You don't have a neighborhood pool.
We don't have a neighborhood pool like you do, which is very nice. I know you live there in the summer. And my husband is very frugal, but every now and then he just gets these hairs where he is just like ready to just like spend a lot of money. So it was a big investment. It's taking a lot of time. It's dirty, it's whatever, but I've been filming the whole process and I'm going to share all of it and share the numbers. And it's not a partnership. We are paying for the whole thing. Oh, right on cue. Did you hear that? There's some drilling going on in the house. They're putting the gas. I think they're attaching the gas today. So we're getting a fiberglass pool. I've been filming all of it because I kind of want to do content on like the whole process and how much it costs and whatever, because I feel like people just don't talk about that. It was a huge investment. It's over $100,000, which is crazy to say out loud, but we are homebodies and we love being at home, and it's so hot here, and we just decided we're not going to move. We're not going to leave this house. So we just decided, let's make it a place where you can have your friends over, where we can have family gatherings, where we can spend time together in the backyard. So we're making that investment. It was a huge thing, but we're all really excited about it. We're all really invested in it. So we're through the process right now. Hopefully by the end of September, we will be swimming, and we can probably swim through October here. Yeah. And then we'll shut it down and then probably open it back up like in March or something. So it's going to have a heater and lights and all the things. So yeah, we're excited. It's been a big deal. It's like kind of all we've talked about.
It's really something to look forward to.
Anytime we go do something or talking about something, the kids are like, nope, we can't. We have to pay for our pool. We have to pay for our pool. So it's helping us to be a little bit more frugal and not just like frivolous with like going and doing all the things. We were like thinking about it more, which is good. It's always good. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do we have on here? Making a shift to Walmart. Creator.
Yeah. So like I like to do fun little things to like get me interested in continuously being a content creator. We obviously love like all this behind the scenes stuff. And so I like to do stuff on the back end to like keep me excited and like how I get that hyper focus on things. And so Amazon has really pulled back on what they're paying me commission wise. They're just shifting their program around a lot. And Amazon, sharing links to Amazon is like the highest conversion rate you can get. But because those percentages are so low, I just am doing an experiment this month. Yeah. And instead of linking out to Amazon like every day and all the time, I'm just exclusively trying to do Walmart links this month and see like, so I can compare the two, because I get a higher rate on Walmart and they have a lot of the same products as they do on Amazon. The conversion rate is not as high because it's just so much easier. I think a lot of people, not everybody's a Walmart person, but almost everybody you meet is an Amazon person and has Amazon Prime. But I really have switched to using Walmart a lot because of Walmart Plus, and you get the free shipping, you get stuff in 2 or 3 days, just like Amazon. And I'm part of that program because I like the grocery delivery and I like grocery pickup, and you can do those things having Walmart Plus. So I've become more of a Walmart shopper. I also am really loving the Better Homes and Garden line, which I got introduced to, over the past couple of years and having a relationship with them. And I've done a couple of reels with them. So Better Homes and Garden, they have tons of stuff online. They don't really, you don't see like all they have to offer on like in store, but online they have such great stuff and it's really great quality for an affordable price. So I'm kind of really into that. So I've become a Walmart person. So I'm like, you know what, let's do a little experiment and then we can just compare at the end of the month and see what's what. Yeah. Because I have these bonuses I can reach on Amazon, and I had a really great month on Amazon for Prime. Like I planned it out and had some great sales, and I still didn't hit my bonus. I'm like, if I can't hit my bonus in July when they have Prime days, I'm like never going to hit it. Yeah. So I'm just spinning my wheels. So I'm just trying something different to keep me like interested in the background and filling out affiliates. That's how I keep my mind sharp. Testing that out. So I'm testing that out. And what else did I have on there besides that?
Your 2 big deals.
Oh, yeah. So also why I've been a little lackadaisical is because in May I had 2 inbounds come that were like really huge, that were like life-changing deals that I negotiated, and they have been filmed and they have been invoiced. And actually just one of them just hit the bank account like the other day. And I was like, oh, you know what? It's okay. If I just take a little break, it's okay. Yeah. And yeah, we talked about this in the 1-year episode. But it's just like in this industry, you just kind of have to take what you get when you get it and sit around and keep creating content and hope one of those comes around again. You can do things to go out and foster those relationships and get things, but sometimes it's just being out there. And if I'm in a spot where I'm just like mentally, I know I'm not okay. I also am coming off of, I got really sick this summer, you guys. Yes. Like I got tested for everything, and I tested negative for flu, all the things. And I was in bed for 5 days. And even after I got out of bed, I was not okay. And then last week I got something residual came back. So I just have not felt like myself since we got back from Haven.
Yeah.
I think it was just like go, 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 go. And then all of a sudden my body just let down.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to give myself a break, and we'll get back into it once these
Take care
kids
of yourself.
Get these kids back in school. I am just really bad when I don't have structure.
No, I am too.
I'm completely undisciplined if there is no structure.
We just talked about this last week. Like my kids both went back to school last week, and I felt like
Superwoman.
I really did. I was like, wow, I have so much time. And I got so much done because all summer I was just like flying by the seat of my pants, taking every spare hour, 30 minutes scattered all throughout the day, late at night. I was getting up at 5:30 every day, like trying to just find those pockets of time where I could get work done, but then still be like there for my kids, like to have a fun summer and like, go to the pool and stuff. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm on top of the world now that they're back at school because I just my time is back. Like they're right. Time is the most precious thing. And like, you know, that's why this summer I didn't want to kill myself, like trying to work so many hours in a day because I won't get the time back with my kids.
Right.
And, you know, so yeah, it is amazing when you have a schedule and structure, like how, for me, how
much you can get done.
So much more productive.
You're so disciplined. You still worked out all summer.
I did.
I went after I was going on all those trips, so I didn't work out, and then I got home and I was sick, and then I didn't feel like it, and then I turn around, it's been 6 weeks or something plus, and my husband looked at me the other day and he was like, "You need to go to the gym tomorrow." And I went, and I have been 4 times in a row now. I didn't go this morning, but hopefully by this time this airs, I will be back on track doing that. And again, that's knowing like, okay, my kids have to be at school at this time. Like we have just like, we've had cross country and like sometimes it starts at 7, sometimes it starts at 8. My daughter's had dance camp, and it's just like there's a different start time every morning. And so it's like if I have to pick, I'm just not going to go. Yeah. Like if I know, I have to go at 7:15 before they go to school, then I'm going to do that and get back on track. So
you'll be back on track.
It feels good to go.
All the kids back in school.
I could not sit down on the toilet, and my arms hurt so bad. My daughter, we were like in Target getting stuff for back to school or whatever, and she just grabbed my arm to get my attention, and I screamed at the top of my lungs because my arms were so sore, and everybody looked at me like somebody was trying to kidnap me. So it's been rough. Don't do it. Don't take time off from the gym. It just never is good. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I wrote one more thing that I wanted to talk about on here. Since we're in the depths of the podcast, I feel like it's a safe space to talk about Botox.
Yes. And the reason is because we just got our Botox in last week. And by the way,
we've been chatting about it a lot.
I went to my lady and she was like, "So when was the last time you got it?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe like April or May." She's like, "No, it's March. It's been 5 months."
That's wild because you usually stay on top of it.
And I was like, whoa, I didn't realize I let it go that long.
What? So what made you make your appointment? Because the kids were back in school?
That is exactly why. Because it was like my summer was so fly by the seat of my pants, and especially July because my daughter had practice and camps, and my son had camps,
private lessons,
and my husband traveled like a lot in the month of July. So I was like all over the place. And when I book an appointment at my place, I have to pay a deposit to like secure it. So it's like kind of hard to move around. So yeah, I went and got my back to school Botox.
Well, I got mine last week because my, what do I even call her? My provider, my injector, she was going on maternity leave. So I actually went in earlier than I would have liked to. And guess what my dummy self did? What? I booked my hair appointment and my Botox in the same week. I'm lucky I didn't get flagged or get a phone call from my husband being like, "What in the world?" Because that, at least it wasn't a highlight month. It was just a root touch up, which is lesser. But y'all have to get my hair done every like 6 weeks because I'm so gray. So that was a rough week getting hit with that
on the pocketbook.
On the pocketbook. But so I've been doing Botox for probably about a year maybe a year and a half. And I just get it on my forehead. I know you get it like around here too, right? Yes. Okay, so I don't do like what are these called? Crow's feet. I don't know. Mine just don't bother me. But I'm looking at yours and yours are completely smooth. So, but I just do mine on my forehead. I have a very expressive forehead. I have had deep inset lines in my forehead since I was like 16. So I never thought about getting Botox because I was like, I don't think it's going to help me because this is just the way that I'm born. But you know, Meggie was getting it. My friend gets it. And I just look at their foreheads. I'm like, well, why not? Why don't I just try it? And the first time I did it, I actually didn't like it. I was like, oh, I think I've made a mistake. It hurts. Like it feels weird. I can feel it in my head. But like, I think that was just me being neurotic. And now it doesn't even hurt when I get it. Yeah. And I have been switching back and forth between one called Jeuveau and Botox. I've done Jeuveau the past like 2 times and it's cheaper than Botox. And Botox takes like 2 weeks to freeze. Mm-hmm. Jeuveau starts freezing like on day 1 or 2, which is very nice as well. Yeah. And it's cheaper. But I had a gift card for Botox that we had gotten, and I had some points that were about to expire. So I was like, well, let me try Botox one more time and I'm going to compare. So this is why we've been talking about it in depth, because I'm like, I really want to compare. Do I want to do Jeuveau or Botox? And we're just breaking down the stigma. Okay. Yeah. Because it is something that makes me feel good and I like it. Mm-hmm. And I honestly really, really just do it for myself. Yeah. My husband would prefer me not to do it, but we've had discussions about it, about why I like to do it. And, you know, so it's okay.
So you'll report back to us.
So I'll report back in a couple on my next cycle if I think I'm going back to Jeuveau.
Yeah. Well, and the other reason we've been talking about it is because I, in a impulsive decision, decided at my last appointment, I always do my forehead, the 11s.
Yeah, I do the 11s too.
My crow's feet. But this time I was asking my injector about Jelly Roll Botox, which of course I heard about on TikTok.
Where she hears about all her beauty secrets.
Which is an alternative. It gives a similar result to like eye filler, under eye filler, but mm-hmm. without like the same risk profile as like using a filler. Yeah.
Because that's, I think, a misconception, because mm-hmm. people think that filler and Botox are the same thing. What Botox does is it just it sounds so bad.
Paralyzes the muscles.
It paralyzes the muscles, and filler is actually like putting a physical thing in your face that like does not go away unless you dissolve it.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. Sorry, continue.
So I got this Jelly Roll Botox, which is a little bit like under your eye cavity. When you smile, if you get that like puffiness under your eye. Okay. Like when I smile, I have like a big cavernous. Anyways, I wanted to see if it would make a difference. Okay. However, what I didn't do research on, and I was waking up with my eyes swollen every day.
Sure. It's like we were having this conversation. I'm like, we should have this on the podcast. This is like soul bearing right now. If you want to come for us in the comments, it's fine. We're okay. We're big girls.
Yes.
We are big girls.
So I was waking up. I only got this Botox a week ago. So this is like, it hasn't even been 2 weeks that I have it. I'm waking up with my eyes swollen every day, wondering, is it the Botox or is it my allergies? And so I go to do some more research on TikTok. Might I add?
But you add Jelly Roll swollen eyes?
Mm-hmm. And the reason I learned is because in those first few days of getting injected, your lymphatic drainage comes through your sinus cavities. And when you paralyze that muscle, your body can't like drain the lymphatic fluids like as efficiently.
Well, and you kind of always have congestion.
Yeah, and I always wake up with kind of puffy eyes. Yeah. Like whether I have done this or not. It was just more extreme. And so I learned that like you can use your gua sha to like help it along. But that's why, because your muscles help move your lymphatic drainage.
So we're not getting Jelly Roll again.
Jury's still out because it hasn't been the full 2 weeks. So I can't tell the results. But the weird thing is I can never feel Botox in my forehead or anything. I can totally feel it. Like when
that's what we were talking about. The first time I got it, and my husband was mortified because he was listening to us have this conversation. He's like, do you guys hear yourselves? Why are you doing this to yourselves? We're like, I don't know. We like it. So I could feel it. Like when I'm laying in bed, like I could feel it like in my forehead. And I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up, but you said the same thing. So maybe I'm not crazy.
Like it's a difference in when I smile, the way the muscles feel here. So far, maybe it'll go away. Like I said, it hasn't been 2
and
weeks,
I don't ever do it around my eyes. And this may be complete hearsay, but I said to her when she's telling me about this jelly roll thing, I'm like, it's not like FDA approved, like around your eyes anywhere. Like I think even your crow's feet. I think it's only approved for your forehead because for FDA, which is like for a medical reason, because it's supposed to help with like tension headaches or like TMJ.
Sure. Yeah.
So
my impulsive decision, jury's out on whether or not it was a good decision or not, or I regret it. But the good thing is, like with Botox, I'm not that worried about it because it wears off.
And that's why I got it the first time. I'm like, if I hate it or I look weird or whatever, then it's fine. But I love that I have, I talk to my phone all day and I have archives of talking to my phone. And my injector, she watches my stories and she's like, so she maps out my forehead before I even get in there what she wants to do. But I have a very expressive forehead, y'all. And mine kind of wears off almost after like 6 weeks, which is kind of unheard of. And I'm still like, oh, is this worth it? But I mean, it's just my forehead moves. Some people's forehead don't move at all when they get injected. Mine does. But looking back at past things, like it's way less than it used to be. And I just like the way that it looks better. So
it's looking great right now, by the way.
Yes, it is looking great right now because I just had it done a week ago. But mine wears off and metabolizes very fast, which I've learned, people have always said to me like, oh, are you really good about what you eat? And I am not. And I think that my body just metabolizes stuff fast because it metabolizes Botox in about 6 weeks, which is not what you want.
Yeah, because I can go like 4 months.
Yeah, it's not what you want.
Notice.
But it is better, and I like it. And like you said, like you can stop if you don't want to do it anymore because it is expensive. I'm not gonna lie.
Expensive.
It's expensive.
But I do enjoy it.
I like it too.
Just the softening.
And it just like makes you feel like glowy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean,
let us know your thoughts in the comments.
We went to Haven.
Do you get Botox? Do you hate Botox? Like this is what we're here for, okay? Yes. 95% of our audience is female, and a lot of you are over the age of 40. So I want to know your opinion. You can totally shame me. I won't care.
Well, and I mean, not to brag, but we did get carded at dinner the other night. So
we did.
Maybe it's working.
Maybe. Did you have any other fun things you want to talk about summer or going into the fall? What you're looking forward to, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just keep plugging along. We're back to square one after all the Haven interviews of trying to land some interviews.
I'm trying to do some in-person ones, so we'll see. I've met a lot of people at some like YouTube events and things, and we have some fun stuff coming up too. So we'll see. We're excited.
I know.
We just wanted to chit chat with you. I know. I hope you enjoyed it.
I hope so too. Just friends discussing things like pools, vacations,
and Botox.
One thing that is coming up is we have another birthday coming up.
Oh my gosh, I'm really excited about our birthday this year. Our birthdays are only 2 weeks apart. And we're going to be 44 this year. And I just think that's cool. I love double numbers.
Double 4.
And one of my favorite shows that my husband loves to watch is Friday Night Lights. And there was a character on there that he was number 44. And the coach would always call him Force. So I've been telling everybody, I just want to be referred to as Force for the next year. I think it'll be fun.
I love it. And like 4s are like my number because I've been seeing triple 4s for like 4 years now. And the number 4 has a really cool meaning. So it means like...
What does it mean?
New season, open doors, greater level of intimacy with the Father.
Okay. Oh, and I don't think I told you this. Like we're really into dreams and believe like that dreams mean something and dreams can be interpreted. Yeah. And one of our friends had a dream about me the other day, and like it was like we were here at my house and you were there and they were there and we were here, and like I was having a baby. And we knew like babies don't mean babies in dreams.
Yes,
they mean like new season or new beginning or new business or something like that. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And Meggie's had dreams for several years before we started this podcast, before she started her business, with like having multiple babies. Like other people would come to me like, I had a dream about you having a baby. So I don't know, new things may be coming.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, are we going to finish up with favorite things?
We can.
I think this should be your favorite.
It already
thing.
is. That's why I put it on. Speaking of Walmart, I was at Walmart the other day. We were looking for Dude Perfect Under Armour because I have a son who's obsessed with Dude Perfect, and that's the only place that they have it, the Under Armour brand. And we passed by this jumpsuit, and I was like, I need to try this on. He's like, no, Mom, we don't have time. And I was like, I need to try on that jumpsuit. So when I went back for to pick up their school supplies on tax-free weekend, I was like, I'm trying on this jumpsuit. And I actually tried it on right over my shorts, and because I was like, I don't want to wait for the dressing room. And I'm like, this is cute. This jumpsuit is so cute. They have it in jean and in green canvas, and it's really stretchy, and it's like
and soft. It's really soft
and stretchy, and it has like cargo pockets on it, which I thought I would not like. But honestly, ladies, we need to bring some pockets back to our pants. They look good. I just got my daughter a pair of pants the other day that are cargo and have pockets all over them, and they look so cute on her. So this has become like my new favorite thing. It's very comfortable. It's under $30. I think I got it for $27. I will tell you, I think you need to size down on it. It's either true to size or size down. And I am tall and it fits me really nicely. Margaret tried to get it.
I ordered one.
And the crotch was between her knees. So
yes, it was.
But you have a very short torso.
I do.
So if you have a short torso, you probably don't wear onesies anyways or wear coveralls. But if you're tall, I'm 5'8", it's going to fit. And if you're maybe 5'6", 5'8", it's going to fit. So
and honestly, it's like as nice as one I bought from a boutique for like $100 something.
It's so nice and it fits really well. It's got, it's cinched around the waist, but it's still kind of got like a looser fit on your legs, which I like. It's not like that skin tight, but it's still stretchy jeans. So it's very comfortable. I've been wearing it a lot. I actually wore it all day yesterday because we were supposed to film this podcast yesterday. And then the electrician showed up yesterday for the pool, didn't know they were coming. I was like, Meggie, but they can't. But then we had the gas people here today too. So we've just figured it out. But this is my favorite thing. Walmart jumpsuit.
My favorite thing is I have been obsessed with Athleta this summer.
Oh, really?
And the reason is because their pants fit me amazing.
Okay.
And like these ones that I have on are the boundless low rise like cargo, and they can be cinched into like a jogger too. Mm-hmm. But they're called low rise, but they fit me above my belly button. But all their pants like just fit my body type amazing, and they're super high quality.
Now do they have lengths, or is this just a standard length? Because I know sometimes you struggle with that.
I have regular length that I've been buying, but they do have petite and long lengths available. I got these actually in 2 colors. I like the way that they feel. Sweatshirt is also Athleta.
Look at you. You have been keeping this from me.
Yeah, I have just been loving Athleta, and they had a huge sale in July where I got a bunch of stuff for.
Okay, now does your daughter like Athleta too?
It's not like as cool as Lululemon. I have bought her a lot of the Athleta has the little cute athletic skirts that she really likes, and they do have this one fitted scoop neck, the purple top she wore to church the other week. So she likes a few of their things, but honestly she doesn't think it's like Lululemon caliber.
That's so funny. Like my daughter has no idea about brand names because we just skipped that because she goes to private school and she wears a uniform, so she doesn't have and she dances, so she's either in a leotard or she's in her uniform.
She's in a uniform.
So she doesn't have a lot of preference on. She's not having to dress every day, so she doesn't have a lot of brand awareness.
Yeah.
But her friends are starting to wear Lulu and stuff, but she couldn't fit into it. She's still in kids clothing. She's tiny. She's short.
Yes. So Athleta.
I didn't know.
It's like,
see, this is why we need to sit down and have these conversations, because you have not shared this information with me yet.
Well, that's because a lot of like the stuff that fits you doesn't fit me.
I know, that's true. But this is a perfect example of why you should be here, because look, we're 2 different body types and we like different things and we have different things to recommend to you.
Yeah. I do love your jumpsuit.
I know, she tried. I was like, I don't believe you. Send me a video. And she sent me a video. I'm like, okay. I was like, maybe if you size down one though, it would be better, but it still probably wouldn't have not worked. The crotch would have been low.
Really long.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for sitting here and chatting with us today.
Yeah, it was fun.
I hope you had a fun time and laughed at us talking about Botox.
If you stay to the deep end of the podcast, you get the juicy stuff at the end.
Well, and if you would like to support the podcast, there are a number of ways you can do that. We'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, click the notification button, like this episode, leave us a comment.
We have merch for you.
We have merch. You can go follow us over on Facebook and Instagram as well. We just appreciate all the support. We want to hear from you and get feedback. So,
and you can go rate us over on Spotify or on Apple if you're listening on the audio version. That would help as well too.
Yeah, so we'll be back again soon with another podcast for you. But thanks for joining us in the Cypress Room, and we'll see you next time.